I'm going to be showing you section 5 in this video, and we're making these little pretty knots that kind of almost look like cat paws or little flowers, and they're going to be scattered around on a stockinette background. So for the most part you'll be just knitting and purling, and then on row 5 and on row 15 we're going to make these little knots. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you how we're going to make the knot. So if we grab my sample, so I've already worked up to row 5, and now I'm going to be at the part where it says MK. So the first thing that it says is it says WYIF. So that means with yarn in forward position. So that means we put it as if we're purling. We are going to purl 3 together but leave them on the left hand needle. So we go into our 3 stitches and we purl and we leave them on the needle. Now we're going to kind of do like a knit front back. So we're going to move the yarn from the front to the back, going between the needles, and then I'm going to knit the stitch. So I go in the front and I'm going to wrap around and I'm going to knit. I'm still not taking it off the left hand needle. I'm going to bring it around, yarn to the front again, and now I'm going to purl these 3 stitches one more time and then take them off the needle. So you'll see we still have 3 stitches, but it made this kind of funky looking knot. So let me just work a couple stitches over. You'll have 7 in between the knots. I'm just going to work a few over. So again, yarn's forward position. We're going to purl 3, but not take it off the left hand needle. Yarn goes between the needles to the back, and we're going to knit the stitch. And we're knitting it like a normal stitch, not going through the back. Now yarn comes to the front again, and we purl. Okay, and that is how we make our knots. So let me work one more stitch. Let me show you it one more time. Yarn comes to the front, purl 3 together, leave it on the right hand needle. Yarn goes to the back, knit the stitch, yarn comes to the front, purl the stitch. Okay, let me undo this and I'll show you what it looks like. I've been doing it continentally. I'll show you what it looks like with throwing. Yarn's in the front. We wrap around, go back. Yarn goes between the needles to the back. We knit the stitch, wrap the yarn around, bring it through. Yarn goes between the needles to the front, and then we purl it. And then it comes off. And that is how we do our knot. Our stitch count's going to stay the same because we're taking 3 stitches to decrease, but we're making 3 stitches in that decrease. So your stitch count is not going to change. It's a 20 row repeat that you're going to repeat a total of 5 times. So you'll see that the knots are actually going to be staggered. They're not going to line up right in front of us. So while row 15 and row 5 are similar, row 5 we start with a knit 7 and then we make our knot. With row 15 we'll start with a knit 2 and then make our knot. So they're a little bit off center. And then we'll come back and I will show you section 6, our last section of the sample scarf, and then I'll show you how we're going to make a bind off that'll look similar to our cast on.